Dear students, we are today at the class of Poverty Reduction and Development, and we will discuss a very important theme, so that today's lesson is dealing with the welfare state. Now, we are going to try to tackle certain issues of the welfare state, why the welfare state is important for poverty reduction, why we are giving such an importance to the welfare state. Initially, we have to bear in mind that a welfare state did not exist in the past. So it's pretty much a new concept that has been developed with development of modern societies. So with modernization of the societies, with democratization of societies, the concept of the welfare state came into a scene and somehow came into a life. So in modern times, the responsibility and functions of the government have increased beyond the limits. It was not the case in the past. So as a result of socioeconomic and political changes, things have changed, and the concept of state has also changed to give the way to the principle of the welfare state. So basically, in the older times, the state was more a police state. So the governments had to perform the sovereign functions along with the establishment of the public safety and security, administration of justice and collection of taxes, and this formed the primary duties of every government. But in the meanwhile, democracy changed the role and function of the government, and today the concept of the welfare state has redefined the meaning of democracy. Now, if we go in the past, several centuries ago, and see the concepts, the ideas, and the theories of Thomas Hobbes, and the relation that needs to be between the citizens in one side and the state from the other side, the Thomas Hobbes was mainly stating that the state is there just to ensure the safety and security of the citizen, and that's the basic function of the state. So the citizens, they did not enjoy any kind of socioeconomic and welfare rights. But later on, with the John Locke philosophy, with the John Locke theories, and in particular with the Jeremy Bentham theories of utilitarianism, this has changed. Actually, these scholars required the intervention of the state in order to have the citizens enjoying their social, economic, and cultural rights. So they demanded that the state is not there just as a guardian during the night to take care of safety and security of the citizens, but the government, so the state itself, has to do more to improve the welfare, the social welfare of their citizens. Now, if we go further, it would be of a good benefit, actually it would be of benefit to see what is the welfare state. So first of all, there is no agreed definition on the concept of the welfare state. Different scholars are giving different kind of definition. But let me see how the welfare state has been defined from the different scholars. So one of the definitions is that the welfare state is the state that provides for its citizens wide range of social services. Indeed, so we have an intervention of the state in order to have the citizens enjoy their social and economic rights. And this definition is compatible with this definition of the Kant. From the other side, we have another definition that says that the welfare state is a society in which assured minimum standard of living and opportunity becomes the possession of every citizen. So it's meaning that the state has to ensure at least the minimum standard of living for their citizens, has to take care about their citizens, has to offer the services to their citizens. Furthermore, if we explore more the welfare state, so it is a concept of a government in which the state plays a key role in the protection and promotion of economic and social well-being of its citizens. And basically this is very important definition of it. A welfare state is based on the principle of equality and opportunity and equitable distribution of wealth. So the welfare state also focuses on the governmental responsibility for those who are unable to avail themselves of the minimal provision of goods of good life. So under this system, the welfare of citizens is the responsibility of the state. Now we see more and more that the welfare state is very much linked to those ideas of the scholars of the utilitarianism, like Jeremy Bentham, and as well John Locke prior to the Jeremy Bentham. So the welfare state involves the transfer of funds from the state to the services provided, like healthcare, education, as well as directly to the individuals. So we can see that providing a direct help to the beneficiaries, to the citizens in need, but on the same time providing a healthcare, education, are very basic mechanisms of the welfare state. So we cannot have a welfare state if we don't have those services provided to the citizens or a direct support in form of subsidies to the beneficiaries, meaning citizens. Furthermore, all these welfare measures amount to the redistribution of the governmental revenue to the needy. So we would have a cash payment, subsidies, concessions, grants, and public distribution that come under the term of the welfare. It can be in terms of money or in terms of services. Whatever is being given to the citizens, be it in terms of the money or be it in terms of the services that they need, are basically the mechanisms of the welfare state. Welfare implies the benefits of different modes of aid provided to the people. A welfare state takes the responsibility of the welfare and the economic and social well-being to its citizens. In other words, the government, which primarily aims at the welfare of the people. A welfare state is a state of, or a government that meant for the welfare or the well-being of the people. So if we have a government in a certain given context that takes care about the citizens, about their welfare, about having a better living condition, about the enjoyment of social, economic, and cultural rights, basically we can consider that that state or that government is a democratic government. Of course, the welfare state has several characteristics, and during the lessons related to the welfare state, we are basically treating many of these characteristics or features of the welfare state. One of those features could be that welfare state provides basic facilities to its citizens, and it runs various enterprises as well. What does that mean, runs various enterprises? In a modern times, during these modernizations, there are a lot of cooperation in one side between the state-owned enterprises and from the other side the private sector. So quite often there are partnerships which are called private and public partnership in order to provide with the services to the citizens. Or concessions, different concessions, so that state property is being given to the private enterprises in order to run those state properties to offer better services for the citizens, but yet it is a kind of a cooperation based on the rules that are imposed from a government or from a state. As well, one of the features is that the planning of activities. Another feature is regulating and controlling. What does the welfare state regulates and control? It regulates and controls all private enterprises engaged in economic activities. Such a controls is linked with the registrations, licensing, taxation of all these different enterprises and businesses. And foremost, one of the very important features of the welfare state is the welfare of the laborers. So all the employees, the workers, within a given context, when we have a welfare state, they are being protected with the legislation. So there are very strong labor laws that are contributing into protection of the rights of the workers. Even in Southeast Europe, we have all the countries in Southeast Europe, they have a very good and very strong labor laws that are taking care about the needs of the workers. So during these lessons, we will definitely compare a little bit the laws in the different countries of the Southeast Europe, in particular Western Balkans, to see what are and in which way they are contributing into a welfare of the workers in general. On the same time, during this particular lesson, we are treating as well functions of the welfare state. We are trying to see what are the main functions of the welfare state. And just simply to list some of them is, as we can see, it is to protect life and property, to maintain law and order, because it's very important. When you have a welfare state, we definitely would have a better law and order prevailing in a given context or given societies. To spread education, because the education is a very important feature of the welfare state. So giving education for free in different levels, be it a preschool education, be it a elementary education, be it a university education, it is a very important feature of the welfare state. Social economic security, and foremost, all these measures of the welfare state, all these mechanisms of the welfare state contribute into eradication of the poverty. Of course, they contribute to improving the health, in having a better moral and social reforms within a society, providing a recreational facility, developing agricultural sector, and of course making regulation regarding trade and industry. On the same time, the welfare state function with regards to the maximum use of natural resources is very important. Of course, the welfare state takes care about regulation regarding export and import. It takes care about the regulation about the workers. It imposes and collects taxes. It provides public utility services, which is very important within this mechanism of the